Hello everyone, we had already discussed our chapter, Our Environment. And now we have begin with the environmental hazards which are posing some great danger to our planet Earth. Now before we begin with our topic, let's just have a brief look at the slides from the beginning, whatever we have studied till now. We studied about what is environment, what is an ecosystem, what do you mean by natural environment, what are the components of the environment, domains of earth, layers of atmosphere, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere. Then I gave you a homework. Then we began with thermosphere, exosphere, and what is global warming and what are the effects of global warming and what can be done to decrease global warming. Now, we are beginning with our new topic, and that is ozone layer. First of all, what is ozone layer and why it is important, and what is ozone layer depletion? First of all, let's talk about what is ozone layer. A layer of the Earth's upper atmosphere. Now, ozone layer particularly lies in your stratosphere. First is your troposphere and second is your stratosphere. So in stratosphere, your ozone layer lies. A layer of the Earth's upper atmosphere that is characterized by high ozone content, which blocks most of the harmful sun's ultraviolet radiation from entering the lower atmosphere. Means it absorbs most of the harmful radiations of the sun, right? And it prevents these radiations to enter the earth. If there is a hole in the ozone layer and if these harmful UV rays they start entering our earth, they start entering our earth, it will be posing a great danger to we humans. Why? Because a lot of skin problems will be there, in particular skin cancer. So these rays, if they enter directly, can cause severe skin problems like skin cancer. And what is ozone? Ozone or trioxygen. For oxygen, the formula is O2, right? For ozone, it is O3, right? So ozone or trioxygen is an inorganic molecule with the chemical formula O3. It is a pale blue gas with a distinct pungent smell. Means it is a colorless gas and it has a very pungent smell. Now let's talk about what is ozone layer depletion. Ozone depletion is gradual thinning of Earth's ozone layer in the upper atmosphere caused by the release of chemical compounds containing gaseous chlorine or bromine from industry and other human activities. This thinning is most pronounced in the polar regions, especially over Antarctica, right? So what is this ozone layer and how this hole happens? The harmful gases, these CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, the harmful gases which these industries release, these harmful gases somewhere, are responsible in the thinning of the ozone layer. And as the ozone layer starts getting thin, slowly and slowly a hole will be developed. And if a hole is developed, these harmful radiations, they'll easily be able to enter our earth, right? And once they enter earth, people will suffer from severe skin problems like skin cancer. Now, another hazard, environmental hazard, is your air pollution, right? What we are breathing in is your air pollution. So, the burning of fossil fuels. Sulfur dioxide emitted from the combustion of fossil fuels like coal, petroleum and other factory combustibles are one of the major cause of air pollution. Now, agricultural activities, fumes from nitrogen rich fertilizers, means the fertilizers which we the fertilizers which we mix up with the soil, the artificial fertilizers, which we mix in the soil to increase the fertility of the soil. They are rich in nitrogen, and once these are burned with animal waste, they form a solid particle in the air. Now, agricultural air pollution comes mainly in the form of ammonia, which enters the air as a gas from heavily fertilized fields and live waste. Already, our fertilizers are rich in nitrogen. Then they combine with the animal waste, right? And when these are burned with the animal waste, these fertilizers are burnt with the animal waste. They combine in the air with combustion emissions to form solid particles in the air. Agricultural air pollution comes mainly in the form of ammonia, which enters the air as a gas from heavily fertilized fields and livestock waste, exhaust from factories and industries, mining operations, indoor air pollution. Now, water crisis is another major environmental hazard and a threat to India. Water crisis in most parts of India. Water scarcity in India is an ongoing water crisis that affects nearly 600 million people each year. In addition to affecting the huge rural and urban population, the water scarcity in India also extensively affects the ecosystem and agriculture. Definitely, when there will be no water, our ecosystem will be affected and our agricultural activities will be affected. India has only 4% of the world's fresh water resources, despite a population of over 1.3 billion people. In addition to the disproportionate availability of water, water scarcity in India also results from drying up of rivers and their reservoirs in the summer months, right before the onset of the monsoons throughout the country. Whatever our storage rivers are, right, our rivers are reservoirs due to extreme heat, due to the rise in global warming, due to the rising temperatures. These reservoirs, these rivers, these whatever storage water is there, it starts drying up, and before the onset of the monsoon we are left with no water, right? Many of the states in India, they start facing drought like problem every year. Another major reason is we do not manage water properly. India has very good monsoon season. In spite of having such a good monsoon season, still, India faces water crisis problem. Why? Because we do not have proper management for utilizing rainwater. We are still not practicing rainwater harvesting system in a proper way, right? If we began storing our rainwater, most of the water crisis problem in India could be resolved. Now, factors responsible for water crisis: lack of proper planning, as I told you. We do not have proper planning for storing the rainwater, right? We do not make use of rainwater in spite of having such a good monsoon season, right? In spite of having the place which receives the highest rainfall in the world, Maseram, right, it receives the highest rainfall in the world, is still we face water crisis just because we do not have proper planning for reusing our rainwater. Water pollution: definitely most of the rivers in India are polluted. Clean Ganga campaign, Clean Yamuna campaign, a lot of campaigns are being run by the government. We should be socially responsible enough that these rivers are a source of livelihood. These rivers are, one of the you can say these rivers are our future, right? These rivers are storage water bodies. If we began polluting them, definitely we'll be left with no water. We'll be left with no drinking water. The way we have polluted our rivers is not a good sign for our future generation. Climatic change, that is your global warming, the way the temperature of earth is rising. One of the major reason, it is your greenhouse effects. the gases which are being released in the atmosphere. Now, water pollution, you can see what kind of water pollution. Heaps of garbages are being thrown in the water. It just not affect human life, but it is also affecting the aquatic life. No fishes are able to survive in such polluted river. Now, water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually as a result of human activities. Water bodies include, for example, lakes, rivers, oceans, aquifers, and groundwater. Water pollution results when contaminants are introduced to the natural environment. Contaminants means the harmful materials which are being disposed of in the rivers. Now, another threat is your deforestation. The way our forests are being removed at an alarming rate, right? We have to again launch a lot of campaigns: clean environment, green environment, save environment. If you cut one tree, plant 10. A lot of activities even you people have performed of planting trees, adopting tree. Why? Because trees are very important. If trees will not be there, ultimately life will not be possible on earth, because these trees also, they absorb most of the pollutants of the atmosphere, right? They even trees, they hold up the fertile soil, right? They avoid land degradation. They avoid soil erosion, right? They do not let the soil flow away with the water when it rains. So these trees themselves play a very important role. And the very important one is the releasing of oxygen, right? These trees, they release oxygen. And if you not have oxygen, definitely you will not be able to survive. Deforestation, clear cutting or clearing is the removal of a forest or a stand of trees from land which is then converted to a non-forest use, particularly or either for building up industries or for agricultural use. Deforestation can involve conversion of forest land to farms, ranches, or urban use. The most concentrated deforestation occurs in tropical rainforest. Now, your homework, you'll be writing about Delhi air pollution. Make cutouts depicting different type of environmental hazards and make it in the form of wind chime. Also write about Yamuna water pollution. If you have any query regarding your homework, you can message me on WhatsApp. Thank you.